Welcome to another Sea Bear production. Wow.
Welcome to the unpopular opinion of Sea Bear and Kendall. And welcome to another episode of the unpopular opinion with Sea Bear and Kendall. What's up, Kendall?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, man, it's been a long week. But, hey, look, that's not here nor there. We have two great guests here at the Unpopular Opinion with us. And let me tell you, we have two of all the... I don't even know
They're
how to
just
say
so
this.
accomplished.
Yes, it's accomplished.
We got real stars in the building.
Yeah,
today.
real stars.
No
Like,
disrespect to anybody who have been on the show, but we got heavy hitters in the
yeah,
building.
we have heavy hitters today. Like, they actually have stars on credits on films. They are immortal. That's what I'm saying. Immortal. And it's great. Like, again, we're getting more fans. We're getting more views. And one day somebody's going to say, hey, I want to support and sponsor y'all. You don't know?
You know, as a person who's used to being supported and sponsored, sometimes you got to do some strange things to get that type of dollars running in. But we still on our way, though.
Hey, we have learned a lot of things through this pandemic. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. But ladies are first. So first, I'm gonna introduce a lady that I met at Great Smoke, actually.
Oh,
the first time I ever
remember this.
Yeah, you was there at History. You know what I mean?
remember
That was
it.
History, where we met at this place called Great Smoke, where a car went through the front door.
Wait,
and
y'all
it
wasn't there
closed
that
down.
day, was y'all?
No. It was like a couple of weeks after we was there or something like
Oh
that.
wow, I didn't know about that.
He didn't know about
Yeah,
that.
no,
Yeah, it got
car
closed
ran
down.
through.
It closed down for a while. Now they're back up again. Like
Yikes.
Great Smoke is up, and they're starting to get build back up doing performances and stuff in there again.
I think that's a risk you take if you have a smoke shop, right? Somebody's gonna get high and eventually
And ran right through- ran
right
right
through
through
the
the windshield.
reverse, and that's what you're gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I want to introduce to you Sheree Danielle.
Sheree.
Sheree.
Man, I had it all in my head. So, like, you don't understand. Like, I'm over here. I was like, I put it on my. I was like, Sheree. It sounds French, but it's not French, ladies and gentlemen.
It is
It
French,
is
but we're
French.
in America.
Yeah, Sheree.
It's definitely French, but we're in America. And that's the complication of my name. So I do understand.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because if I lived in France, it would be said differently,
Sure.
you know? But it's, American. We're American. So
Sheree.
Sheree Danielle.
Well, Sheree Danielle.
Also, one of my absolute favorite people in this business.
Huh.
Like, in addition to being a star, she's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, she is a star, ladies and
Thank
gentlemen. But she's
you.
going to tell her that.
Thank
She's going to
you.
tell. Go ahead. Talk about yourself.
So I'm Sheree Danielle. I'm an actress. I do stand-up comedy. I also write. A lot of people know me from doing my one-woman show, The Diary of an Afro Goddess, and being an ABFF comedy finalist in 2021. And then also I've made a few appearances on television in shows such as Woke on Hulu, The Deuce on HBO, and the movie Barry on Netflix. So, yeah.
She got a lot going.
A lot go. Hold on, she gets one clap for me. All right. So the next person that's coming up, he is our international man, all the way from Iran. You know what I mean? But he lives here in Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen. He lives here from Atlanta, and his name is Murray Sadidi.
Murray Saidi. Thank you.
Saidi. I'm trying, man. I've been butchering people today. I'm butchering. I'm not in rare form.
He was drinking last night.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I was
saying?
not in rare
No.
form today.
I sometimes get stage fright over names when I have to announce people at the show. You know, I'll sit there and I'll go up 10 times over. I'm like, did I say this right? Am I saying this correctly? And they're like, yeah, you got it. That sounds great. And then I go up. I'm like, the Judah.
Yeah, listen. For now, we're gonna have to vet American names only. If you are French, Iranian, if you got anything going on,
Hey, look, listen. Yes.
We just invite Rogers and Suzanne's from this point forward.
Look. You know what got me to this point? I know y'all remember Hooked on Phonics.
Yes.
I grew up on Hooked on Phonics. You hear me? Yeah.
It didn't work, huh?
He got unhooked from phonics.
No, my mom was a reading teacher, so she was big on those things too.
Yeah.
Like that Hooked on Phonics.
Yeah, like you remember how they used to have the little squishy styrofoam little covers when you fold it up, there'd be like 8 cassettes up in there?
Yeah.
Am I showing my age right now?
No, I know it is.
That's real life. I remember it.
Yeah, you remember them? Okay. But
Back to Murray.
back to Murray.
So I was a stand-up comic here in Atlanta. I've been doing comedy for about 2 years now. I host a show on Friday nights at Savvy Provisions at Lennox at 3579.
No.
Yeah, on the mic.
Lakeside Drive.
Get it closer.
Oh, I thought you were telling me I was too close.
No. We need you to get
No,
closer.
you can get intimate with this mic, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. He sounds better, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't he?
Don't I sound a little bit better?
There you
Please
go, you
call
perfect.
in. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
I host a stand-up show at 3579 Lakeside Drive at Savvy Provisions every Friday night, 7 o'clock. Come on by. It'll be a good time. And, yeah, I love the comedy game. You know, I've been doing a few things. I've been doing a few sketch things. What is it? The Vice News Channel. I've done a couple of their episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, not really comedy, but it's kind of funny with the things that they want me to do. They're like, all right, you're going to be a pawn-dealing crackhead.
Okay.
Can you pull this off? I'm like, I think I
I'll
may.
try. Yeah,
Gotta go for it.
try my best.
I just want to
Man.
get typecast, you know?
Yeah.
Most definitely. I've heard these terms nowadays, trying to see if I can dub into the whole arena of acting and also doing commercials. So come to find out, I did a movie audition for Tubi for this gangster movie, and I didn't get the part because come to find out, I could be in front of 300 people's a stage and a mic, but 2 people in the camera is a totally different
It
feeling.
is,
ladies and
for
gentlemen.
real.
I mean, like, I
is.
was so nervous. I started sweating. The director was like, why are you sweating so much? I was like, that's just me and being fat, dog. But no, it was nerves, man. It was straight nerves.
I loved every minute of it. I just ignored everybody else. It was just like me and whoever else was supposed to be on the scene with me, and I was like playing make pretend in my head. I was like, no, I didn't see anybody else. It was kind of,
Oh, man.
you know, I was having fun with it, but it wasn't really. It didn't take too long, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it just did like 1 or 2 takes each time, and then you went on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So the part about acting for me that's always different. It's like you'll be shooting it and you'll be like, great, that was perfect. Now do it again. Just like that. But like 10 more times. And I'm like, bro, I am sick of saying this like one line over it. And I was like, okay, we got to get it from this angle. We got to get it wide. We got to get close up.
Yeah.
Say the same line again. You got to really try to say it like I felt this the 100th time like I did the first. And I'd be like, bro, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, you ready?
I did a short film with another stand-up comic, and I'd never seen it. It's never made the light of day. I keep asking him where it is. You know,
Most short films.
Yeah.
all short form film. I played a delivery driver, and at first I was like, oh, how long is this going to take? Really, you know? I do one scene. I got one line. It took like 4 or 5 hours, and the whole thing was this. I thought this guy's pissed because he doesn't want to be delivering these pizzas anymore, and he just wants to go home. By the end of this thing, I was just feeling that frustration.
that you really
and I was there.
pissed I wanna
And
go
they were
home.
like, "You really nailed it." And I was like, "Yeah, I really want to go home."
I get it. Okay. Okay. But tell us about just like, okay, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen this woman's picture at the, what was that, Emmys? No, where were you? Where were you?
No, I was not no Emmy.
You wasn't at the Emmys? Where were you?
Man, you think we got Chris on here, bro?
Like, where
Sheree
were you?
Danielle,
Like,
Chris?
you was in the audience. And
Oh, at Black Girls Rock. I was in the audience at Black Girls Rock.
Yeah.
It's a award show that BET does, and I just was a seat filler. And like that night, I don't know, I was just really into the program, and they kept putting the camera on me.
because you was making it look awesome. Like, you looked like
really
you was
touched.
meant to be there.
Because I was emotional that day because I met met Angela Bassett that day.
Oh,
So I was super emotional because I've been looking up to Angela Bassett like most of my career, and like they, a seat filler, they just move you around. Everybody, like they eventually sat me right next to Angela Bassett, and I thought I was going to die. And then I spoke to her and told her how amazing she was and how I saw her on Broadway, and that just kind of made me super just like I was already happy to be celebrating Black women in the event, but like I was just really like on 10 after that. So then when she got up and accepted her award and made her speech, I felt like she was still talking to me. So I was having this moment where I was like literally crying and like, mother, and like, and I could feel the camera shifting my way, and the actor in me was just like, just keep focusing on that. Don't like, because once they see you looking at the camera, they're gonna turn it off of you. But I was just like, just keep focusing on what. But I was like, oh my gosh, there was a part of me that was like, I'm gonna definitely make it in the clip, because I was so tied to what she was saying about just like the journey of being an actress and like maintaining your strength and and just your journey as a Black woman. So yeah, that was a dope night. So that was
shout out to Angela Bassett.
Shout out to Angela Bassett who looked fabulous that night.
When we bring her on, we're gonna bring you on again.
Yeah, there you go. I love how she explains. She's like, so I had to look this way, but I had a moment where like, this is gonna look so cool.
We're bringing her.
She did though.
That's to be new, but I was originally just invested in what she was saying. I mean, there's a bunch of people I'm sure who was. I didn't know they were gonna put the camera on me, but I could feel it. And I'm just like, just stay in it, because I was in it because she just looked great and she was saying great things. But like back to the acting stuff, I just feel like it's all about committing to like whatever your intention is in the scene or whatever your method of training is. There's different ways to go about the method. Sometimes you're more focused on something in the scene. Sometimes you're focused on something in your personal life. Sometimes you're focused on what you're trying to get from the other actor. However you're taught, it's like as long as you focus on that and not focus on how many times I'm saying the lines or who's looking at me or how nervous I am or whatever, then that's gonna always prevail to me. That's much easier said than done. Obviously, I mean, I still get nervous. I'm honestly thankful that most of the industry is self-tapes now, and I don't have to like go into the room that often, because going in the room and sometimes you feel that like support and joy, but other times it's like, what? I don't know. I'm not feeling the energy.
Right. It's like just a blank stare. Like they're just staring.
Yeah, for the most part, they always tell you casting directors want you to win, so that's what you're supposed to believe. But, I remember I had this one, like, Law and Order audition, like, back in the day, and, like, I had one line, but it was so detailed, and it was, like, lawyer shit. So I'm like, I don't know this, or, as a person, like, I'm not smart enough for this, but I, pretend it. And so I go in there, I say my line. It was hard to get out that one line that I learned just the night before with, like, the terminologies and stuff. And then he's like, okay, one more time. I'm like, and as soon as he said one more time, I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. And like the one more time is like mess up again. I was like, and then again he goes again, and I'm like, and he's like, all right. And like I get up, and I just remember leaving that audition like, you idiot, like how you had one line and you messed it up, but it was like it had lawyer words in it, and I was just like, I don't know this stuff, But it's life. It's life. The same way when you bomb on stage, and I feel like I've definitely taken bombing on stage way more personal than like auditions, because like still the audition is you and the casting director. When you bomb on stage, it's like especially when you feel like you bombed on stage and it's like important people in the audience. I've had big shows where I felt like important people were in the audience. Executives, producers in the audience, and so when you feel like, oh no, this wasn't just me and two people in an audition I didn't get. This is a whole audience that saw me be like, what the hell? So,
are you even a comedian, bro?
Yeah. So that is more triggering to me. But I feel like also because I'm newer to comedy, I'm only 2-3 years in. So
okay. Well, we are about to start the segment, ladies and gentlemen. The topics. Y'all think? I feel like these are some good topics today. We did something new in the studio today. We did a round table topic collection time. Is that a mouthful right there?
That's a lot, bro.
I think you come up with a better name for it.
A better name for it? Hey, that was the first try of saying some names
round
right there.
table topic collection.
That's going to be hard to hashtag, sir.
That's a hashtag right there. But I want to start with the first one, man. We're going to go a little global. I don't know. This is going to be our first time going global on the show, believe it or not. So we're going to hit a little bit of global news. I'm going to say, have you heard? Have you heard? Or read about the news in Iran? So come to find out, they are rioting. Oh gosh,
He can't even get it out. He's so
He's
mortified.
hurt.
I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That was out of nowhere. Anyway, excuse me. Have you heard that in Iran they are rioting because they have something called morality police? Like a woman was beaten, because I saw that video when she was getting beaten, and then some of her people were getting beaten as well because
they've been rioting in the streets, and people have been getting
real beaten over this woman
getting physical.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Over this woman that was showing too much skin, correct?
Yeah, I think she was showing a little bit too much hair, skin with the hijab that they have, that they're supposed to cover their heads and things like that.
Right. Y'all women out here y'all been taking y'all skin to 10. Like, y'all been showing a lot of skin. Now, if you ever go to a whole nother country in these Muslim countries, I want to let y'all know. I'm gonna give y'all a little knowledge. Y'all can't be showing all the skin. Like, I remember
No
this
thong bikinis.
No thong bikinis. You can't do
I'm
it.
gonna throw away my thong bikini.
Well, I mean, it's really at this point just a whole bunch about like women's rights over there too.
Yeah.
You know?
women's
like,
rights.
Yeah,
like they're
period.
not allowed to women aren't allowed to go to stadium like games. Like they can't go to like soccer games or anything like that.
Yeah.
They have some of them like dressed like men just to sneak in, and think about what you're putting on the
There's
line
just
to
not
sneak
allowed
into
to-
a
Right.
soccer
if they
game.
catch you,
And they have all of that, but then there's still a lot of crimes against women. I'm sure rape still exists there. I'm sure
for
domestic
sure.
violence is still a thing there. So it's like, it's interesting how it's like the control is always put on if women don't do this or can't go here or don't dress this way, then there'll be less attacks or they'll be safer or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's still, I'm pretty sure it still exists.
You know they just passed that law to where women can drive.
in Iran.
No, that's got to be somewhere else. They've always been able to drive.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Is that an Iraq thing?
I'm not sure where that would be. I didn't.
I
I feel
know-
like
I
I
know-
heard
no,
something
that
about
was-
that somewhere, but I don't know
I
where
don't
it
know.
was.
Yeah. Well, I went to Afghanistan and stuff. They wasn't allowed to drive, but they're allowed to drive now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. It was very I could feel like it was very liberating for them. Like, it's something new. Like, it was like when back in the day when African Americans could vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
Voting's not
liberating.
that lit though. I mean, we should go vote, but I would much rather be able to drive.
Man, that is a whole. That is
Like,
a
that's
whole.
like real. Like, you can't even
that's
leave that. Like, that is control.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
I
can't
Like,
get out, you know?
Yeah, like off topic though. Like, my grandmother used to like take all her friends and everybody in our community, like in the deep woods, and used to go vote. Now the white supremacist that was in our town didn't like that. So they tried to take her out, take out the car, take her out, and everybody that was in the van, because they didn't want the African Americans to go vote. And she was one of the key pieces for them to vote in our town.
Oh,
That's pretty
wow.
cool,
That's
man.
deep. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very deep, very Alabamian.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
dad's from
Alabama.
Alabama too.
Yeah.
I got a lot of Black history in my family too. Side note, just
Yeah.
you said that. My dad, he was one of best friends, one of the 4 little girls that got blown up in that church.
So
like, yeah, I got a lot of. You know.
Yeah, Alabama back in the day was one of those top,
Oh yeah.
top, you know.
It's
top
still
one of the
pretty
top.
high.
Yeah, it's pretty high, but it's
Yeah.
calmed down because people don't get lynched no more.
And then-
Publicly.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say that
Yeah.
specific form.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They-
anywho,
yeah.
that's your narrative. That's back. But anywho, back to the morality police. Like, how do y'all feel if the United States said we're about to pass a law to where now we have morality police in the streets?
That would not be something that would be ever passed. But like right now, the way people treat each other, it's kind of like if you open your mouth and people are going to be in a mass disagreement with you, you have the masses that are your morality police, and you're letting them police you. And I don't know which one's really better, you know, because at least they're fighting back and have something they can fight back to. You know, who are you fighting back against on the internet? You know, and people that are just coming at you in masses for nothing.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
But see, I think that situation in Iran
Is
put certain stuff in perspective though about when those are places where you really can't say what you want to say. You know, we talking about losing endorsements and stuff for when our morality police you, you lose endorsements. You know what I'm saying? Over there, it gets.
It's like your basic laws, you know,
Right.
just for how you dress
So,
or, you know.
there's people leaving and protesting right now all over the country that are leaving and not coming home.
Yeah.
You know, their family members are like, they left to go protest, they didn't come home. You know, so people are putting their lives on the line
Yeah,
when they get out there
and they
to
should, because
protest
this-
for the rights.
Yeah, they should be, because like this is a higher cause. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's not going to change crime. It's not going to change acts against women. Like, you know, I think a lot of the religiousness behind it is like, oh, it's going to protect women if we keep them dressed a certain way and behaving a certain way. But it just, you know, like I said, you just end up feeling limited as an individual, you know? So,
Yeah.
Well, I looked up a little bit before we got this going, but like back in like the 30s, when Iran was trying to westernize their culture originally, they made a law that banned the headdresses.
Oh,
So-
hijabs?
They banned the hijabs. So that way women weren't allowed to wear them on the streets anymore in the 30s because they were trying to westernize their culture, and people protested about that. And then it led to a very much like a shift to the hard right, you know, or what you would call that, I guess, the hard right, you know. And then in the 70s, when the religious the Ayatollah took over, they made a law requiring it. So it's just like it's not just something that is like just a today kind of thing. This is something that's been going back and forth
it's
with
always
just that
gone
law.
back. Yeah, and
But
it's
the
even in America.
Women's rights is
Yeah,
so
it
fundamental
still
at the
has
end of
been
it.
a thing, and like I said, it's always been supported and backed by, like, you know, because even, you know, like I said, if you like, you know, that's how Beyonce made that song that made a lot of controversy, that church girl song, like that comes from like that religious restriction of women, and just like how they can dress and how they can express themselves, and how it and what it means is purity or their honor of God or a higher power. And so like a lot of that, it still stems from a lot of the thinkings, you know, of that even were happening in America. But like I said, a lot of that is the control and order of things. Even talking to my grandma, you know, she tells me stories about, like, I think she told me a story about how you couldn't buy furniture. Like, it took her a while as a woman, like you couldn't buy furniture without your husband's permission, and like stuff like that, you know. And it's these countries do this to keep people, you know, to keep people married, because they feel like if people are married, then there's going to be more order, you know. But it's just like that, you know, you shouldn't have to do all those things just to have that, like, go against somebody's freedom. Like, I'm like, you couldn't even buy furniture, grandma? Like, no, like, you couldn't, you know. It's like people are always like, you know, they put a lot of reasons on why marriages aren't as much of a thing or lasting as long, and there's a lot of reasons, of course, but I'm just like, y'all gotta really look at the basics. It's just like, you talk about, like, this is like the 1960s. My grandma couldn't buy a couch without my granddad's permission, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Having a credit card, bank account, everything.
Yeah.
Nah, for real. You can't have none of that.
For real.
Yeah.
And,
Go ahead.
oh, I was just about to, you know, say to her point that, you know, when people leaving marriages and stuff, you realize how much of an institution that is sometimes when you don't have to be in it, when they don't force you to be in it, like people choose to do other things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. But with this whole morality police, you know what I mean? In our own country, some people were saying that Trump needs to have a morality.
He need
Police
to police.
officer.
He need real, like,
He need the real
police.
po-pos
He
need to come
police.
get
He
him.
need-
Right.
I mean,
It's crazy. Like was told to, you know, was shown and heard that, you know, Trump now is trying to declassify documents where they took out of his mansion. You know, they're trying to put him away for a very long time, or even try to execute him, maybe.
Wait, what? Yeah,
No.
she said.
No,
Oh.
I'm just.
I was like, hold on.
You should, like, sometimes you should hear my mom, man. She be all talking about, yeah, that Trump. I'll be like, hey, mama, look, listen, turn off the TV. I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? But, you know, it got a little interesting when a person tells you, like, you never hear a president talking about declassifying documents because he thought about it.
Yeah, essentially saying that if you know, I can declassify a document by just thinking about it. If I think about it, then I've It's like it's a mutant power. Like
A
he's
mental
like he's like
signal.
an F man or something. Not even an X man. You know, he's just a failure man. You know, F man. I have a mutant power that I
So
can declassify.
So the weird part about Trump is Trump has such a base.
Oh yeah.
And with his particular base, without speaking on his base, even though they suck, he is somebody that could just ramble and say random things to them. Like, it don't have to make no sense or have no coherence. But the reason that this is going a different way is that he's like in court now. Like, you know, these terms have meanings. These rules have standards. So he can't just say, I didn't do that. Or so now when you kind of take it from, oh, you're just saying this type of stuff at MAGA rallies, or you being backed by, you know, all the Republicans or whatever, and now it's kind of being not shown to the world, but bro, you actually got to prove these things now. You can't just say them. It looks crazy. It's got to look crazier. Like the more
you can't just say random things.
I think it's just like this. Yeah. It's like this whole idea of like, he's like delusional in a sense, where I feel like if you have, he had so much power and has so much power over his following, where it's like he says a thing, it's true, or they, automatically back it, or automatically are like, it's real. Even when he was joking several times in his presidency, there are people that were like, oh, we believe this. This is fact. So it's just like I feel like that caused a lot of disillusion that I feel like was even like already, probably inside of him a lot, but just like heightened, I feel like. So now it's like he literally feels like these laws, all these things are like his fans and his supporters, where it's just like, if I say it, if I think it, then it's real.
No, he believes he's above it. At the end of the day, it'll apply to you if it'll help him, but it doesn't apply to me.
No.
This is good for you, but this is good for me here on this side. You know what I mean? We're not the same. But you know what? At the end of the day, if I like that, that's going to be good for me. Mm-hmm. And if this might be good for you if it fits me later better too. It's all moving parts for him to where he's not going to go ahead and fess up to saying can stand up on my own too and be like, I'm going to stand my ground and I'm right on this.
But the weird part about Trump
Very true.
is he does fess up to it in the weirdest, dumbest way. Like he will be like, yo, I stabbed that girl. I choked the life out of her. I threw her in the trunk and I buried her body. But did I murder her? No. I'd be like, what? You ever had like a 2-year-old that say they didn't eat something, but they got icing all over their face?
Yeah.
That's him. Like, yeah.
Being a liar, I can understand. Even his being racist. I knew that was a thing. I just didn't know you could be so dumb. That's the part that's still wild to me. I look at him.
Is he though?
Is he racist?
Yes,
though? For sure.
Are you sure though?
Pretty sure, yeah.
So let me. I've had this conversation because I know a lot of people. Would say, because believe it or not, I kind of would vote for Trump. I know. I was looking at everybody's eyes for this.
He said I kind of would vote for Trump.
I kind of would.
Voted for him before?
No. Only reason why I say that is because I'm a business owner and he did good for the business. I know it's rough. Gas prices was down. Import-export prices was shipping and handling was down. Businesses was actually getting money and also getting money from the government.
A lot of times.
PPP loans.
So here go the thing about
you got
but
a whole
was
bunch
that
of
pandemic or was that actually Trump?
A lot of times when a president takes over with their first presidency, a lot of the things that are going into motion are the things that the last president put into motion. Because it's going to be hard for that guy to come in day one and make such an impact.
Plus, dude, Trump strike you as a person with good ideas on anything. Like, even the good things that happen under his watch, Trump is not responsible for it. He just don't.
He's just the face.
He don't seem like he seemed like the type of person, like if real business was going on, we would give him a coloring book. Like, you know what I'm saying? Give him something to like look like he read over this. Or the type of person that be like, Trump, what do you think? And then he just talks. And he's like,
Yeah, and
then we have a
unfortunately,
conversation about what we really
talks,
going to
and
do.
that's what he uses
and then
as his language.
even his business success, I just feel like it's more access than it is like intelligence.
I call it privilege.
Yeah, it's a lot of privilege. Yeah, you get a lot of access when you have those privileges that he had. So I feel like he didn't have to think. He didn't have to, he was able to hire and put certain people in positions, which is the same thing as like coming into a presidency. There's already people and things in positions, where you don't have to necessarily do as much as it looks as though you're doing, so I think that's a whole thing too.
I think going back to the declassification of these documents, I mean, if you're taking them by just thinking you've declassified them and you take them back to your house, that's called stealing.
And
right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's called stealing.
Like you're a whole thief, right?
I can't think like I bought that Porsche over there by breaking the window and taking it home with me.
The thing about the documents things is like he don't even do crimes like a mastermind. Like I don't even think he took the documents and went home and put them in a safe. I think if you went like, you know where you keep your Jet magazines and Ebony's? Like I think
It's on
it's
his coffee
Jet,
table.
Ebony, declassified documents. Like I don't think that he just his corruption for some reason I can get over. He's just so dumb. Like every time
I gotta know if he's racist. What's he doing? Jet and Ebony magazines.
probably don't know. Man, I don't think he can read.
I think it's just all an act, man. I think it's just
It's
just all an act.
Denzel's
man, for real.
not that good of an actor. No actor in the history.
They said Will Smith was.
Will Smith can't. Eventually, you gonna have a flash of brilliance. Like, ooh, bro, that was really smart what you just said or did. If he is pretending to be dumb and racist, he is the best actor in the history of the world because he does not let on at all, ever, that he's intelligent or smart.
Better than Kanye.
He's listen. If
Kanye's a whole nother subject, sir.
Bruh.
That is a whole nother subject.
That's a whole nother subject.
right,
For sure.
Yeah.
I just feel like, to me, I just feel like it's one thing, and then when it comes to like, oh, is he racist? It's just like, we got to understand, like, there's levels to racism. Like, and I just feel like, to me, I just feel like just because a person isn't necessarily, directly like, I'm going to stab a person because they're black. But if they're enjoying and relishing in the support of people that would do that, it's just like, to me, it just feels like, you can't separate yourself from that. You can't be like, I'm not this, but then the people that love you the most are this. The people that you amp up the most are doing these things. It just feels like your hand is still in that, like,
Here's the only argument I will hear for Trump not being racist is that he isn't even smart enough to have a coherent philosophy on black people. Like, he's not here enough to even have opinion on black people. He just be thinking moment to moment. It's ducks swimming around in that lake of his, like
the duck.
like a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah,
like,
but you gotta be careful, man, because like ducks work hard. It looks like they're not doing anything.
No,
but
that's
those
real.
legs
On the
are
surface, they really
flying
ain't.
Honestly,
underneath that water, man.
And I just feel like we're all
gotta be
racist.
careful
I
with
feel like we're all we were brought up in this racist institution of America, and I feel like especially a white male over the age of 60. Like, what do you mean you're not? It's like it's one thing if you're like racist and like charging it or like you're aware of it, but I just feel like you're racist to some extent. Like, to me, I just feel like I don't believe that you growing up in America you can not be. To me,
I think that, like, I mean, I don't want to speak on any of that really. I just kind of talk about the documents, but like if they're declassified, altogether, right? Does that mean you can't? That means you don't take the originals with you, right?
No, you're right.
My man,
At that point, you're like, hey man,
bro,
go ahead and get a copy of this to everybody, right?
Truthfully, it could have been digital, but I mean, it didn't have to be.
But
really.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah,
but I'm just saying, like they didn't they
he
say
can show them to anybody. Like they
it was
declassified.
papers. It was on papers. Like, it could have been digital. He could have hit it. I mean, like, that was staged for something.
What would you
whatever it is,
declassify?
I hope they get him so he can't run again.
What would you? That's a good.
What would not? All right, let's make pretend we're not Trump, but we have the power, because we're not going to just declassify stuff that's going to get us out of trouble. Let's think about what would you declassify as a government documentation that you want to see and take with you if you got out. Like,
great question.
Like aliens, Area 51. Like, what would you think would be a cool thing to see and find out? That's a hard one, right?
The golden goose.
The golden goose.
Yes.
What do you mean?
If they have a goose out there that really poops gold.
You wanna know about it.
I
Yes.
think that's a fairy tale. Like with
Whoa. We don't know this. We found out that aliens are real. So you said whatever declassification that I would take out there, I think it would be that one.
You would use yours on the golden goose.
I think mine would be if the moon was a scam. Like, I saw this movie, I watched a few weeks ago, and I think Halle Berry was in it, and it was just like this whole thing of like the moon not being real, but like, and I was like, okay, that would be something I would take. I would be curious about that. And,
that would be.
I don't know if cameras were around back then, if there were security cameras, but I want to see what John F. Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe was doing. And I want to see the tapes. I want to see the tapes.
But what would happen if it was like a old 19? 100 era sex tape though.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
Where the lines go
Yeah,
up on the
that looks
screen.
like a good tape.
Yeah, whoever.
The lines go up and down, so it's not in focus right, and you have to get the verticals
Yeah,
right on the
you know what I'm
screen.
saying? I want to see.
I want
wanna
to see the tapes, and I want to know where Jackie O was.
Where
Like,
was Jackie? Where
was
was
she
Jackie?
like literally in the next room, just like
Was she
painting her
there?
nails? Like what was happening?
Was she there? I don't know.
Like
I think I want to know. I want to find out if pigeons are really spies for the government. You know, I've heard that. You ever seen a baby pigeon?
Yeah, no.
That's because they're little robots
Oh,
spying on you.
that's deep. That's
Allow
deep.
with it.
I know them pigeons in New York is on some because they fly way too close to you. Like, do not protect your personal space at all. So I'm just like, there's something up with these pigeons.
Walking up real close, taking a look at your belongings, like they're about to jack you.
So switching up the topics a little bit here. Switching up the topics. It was kind of funny how y'all was saying something y'all wanted to see. You know, Johnny Kenny and you know his mistress on sex tapes because there's a lot of things going on out here, you know, on these streets.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, but first thing I'm gonna ask y'all: how long do y'all think it's okay to be engaged?
Now, I know too long. I have a friend of mine. Well, a friend of mine. I used to try to date this lady, and her sister was engaged for 10 years.
Is that
10 years.
10
That's
years?
10 years is a long time to be engaged. That's past the point of marriage. Other people get married and divorced before you even got there.
It's common law, common marriage, common law marriage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I would say 3 years tops, right?
I don't think there's a time limit.
Yeah.
I feel like when both people are equally yoked in saying, yes, I want to get married. I want to give you half of my stuff, and I give you half of your stuff from sick to poor, blase. Then I feel like you should take that step to become a bonded person. You know what I mean? Married. You know what I mean? But as of you don't want to be with nobody else, but you know you love this girl, but not enough to marry yet. You know what I mean? I think engagement can be infinite. You know.
I think if you're gonna ask somebody to be engaged, and like, you've already gotten
We're
to
not
that point where you're,
engaged. Like if
You're only
if
gonna
we
get
haven't
married.
if we aren't married within 2 years after being engaged,
Yeah.
we are not engaged. We are just
Still dating?
seriously dating.
Seriously, still that's why for me, you know, I think a lot of women are in this rush with like beating a clock, but then I do think like especially somebody like a person we're about to discuss later on, I feel like especially like actresses and performers, sometimes you see us, you know, getting married at later times in life or having long relationships that never end in marriages, and that's happening more and more when you find women that are just more career focused and whatnot than in this rush to get to the altar as it always was before. Because to me, like I said, I think 2-3 years tops, you know, because if you're getting engaged, to me that's saying I'm ready to start planning the wedding. Like after I'm proposed to, I'm gonna start I'm gonna call my mom. We're gonna start figuring out the dress, the place, who we're like. That's gonna be the process. Like I don't want to get proposed to until I've made it aware to my partner that that's the mode that I'm in. You know, I could be with somebody for like 10 years and just be like, yeah, I just love this person's company, but I don't think I'm at the state where I can focus on planning a wedding and planning out, you know, a family and this, that, and the third. And so I do feel like sometimes, you know, like I said, with women that find love later in life, sometimes there is a comfort in just like, you know, I just want to be with this person. I don't want to organize our finances and make it this combined force. I don't want to do all that. I just want to be with this person. I think with the person we're about to talk about, Nia Long, with her 10-year engagement, I do feel like, to me, that seems like, in a sense, something that she more wanted to be engaged to. And I think more so it's a respect thing, because sometimes people don't respect just, you being a certain age and having a boyfriend. You know, I feel like if you're over a certain age, people look at boyfriend, like that needs to be so I feel like her having a fiance was more of like a respectability thing of like, okay, we're more serious of just like a for show thing. But I do kind of feel like there was never going to be like there was some sort of understanding that the marriage was never going to really happen just because of their specific careers.
But you know, after a certain age, when women and men start dating, you graduated from being a boyfriend to an uncle, right?
Right.
to an uncle.
Yeah, you an uncle. Like, that was Unc. Yeah, you didn't know
Yeah.
Unc, but you know, never part of your friend. Like I know a
Your
lot
mama
of
friend.
That's your mama.
That's my mama.
Oh, your
friend.
mama friend.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's why I aspire to be.
Yeah, like
relationship status.
You wanna be your mama friend?
Yeah, I'm your mama friend.
Women can't do that though, right?
I don't know what dads call their
I don't.
lady friend.
Sneaky leaks, like what's up?
I don't know.
But you know your
I've
dad-
never had that because that's somebody that my parents got divorced when I was like dumb young. So, and my dad, he got married like maybe a year after, like immediately after, because he already knew my stepmom beforehand. But that's a whole nother story. But anyway, so I always knew my dad as to having, my stepmom, Jeanette, and that's what it was. But my mom, she dated. She was beautiful when she always dated. So she always had a boyfriend. She had a very long-term boyfriend that I call by his first name too. But it wasn't until after I got out of high school that she actually married, and it was like instant. Like, that's I feel like with women, like, and older women that want, like, it's very much a plan. Like, I feel like she came to my stepdad and was like, I'm looking for a husband. Like, this is what's going to happen. And they were dating for a very short period of time, and they got married very quickly, like, after. I feel like this all happened like a 2-year span where it was like, boom, boom. So I just feel like, to me, it just showed me that the guy she was with before then was like, I love you, I care about you, but for whatever reason, maybe it was because me still being in high school, who knows? She just wanted to keep it not a marriage,
No,
I think.
But the thing
back
is,
to the length.
I just feel like if you are engaged and you are not planning a wedding, you are not engaged.
Yeah.
You just got a big ring, which is cool.
It just show, and that's why I feel like it's just a show of like respect, and I feel like with them being public figures, it was more of like a show of respect,
Like
a
we
show
real
of
serious.
like we are serious, we are bonded, and they have a kid. I think it was all, but I think more so on her end, and even from the things that I've read, that it was very much like, I don't want this marriage thing happening. Honestly, I think it was kind of smart, especially
Yeah, man, we see it
especially as an actress. I think you just kind of know when you're
into
like
my 3 years.
an actress and you have money, and or any sort of successful woman, and you're at an older age and you have money, and just how the way love can go and how these men can be sometimes. It's just kind of like, yo, we both successful. I'm gonna keep what's mine. You're gonna keep what's yours, and
Yeah, but that's called a prenup. You can still get married and get a prenup. I mean, that's not a valid
you
reason.
can do that. You can do that, but maybe they didn't want to go through the paperwork of that. I think
File
that's-
for one piece of paper.
I mean,
you have
I
3
don't
years to get a ring in the NFL. If you don't get a ring in 3 years after engagement, you need to do something else, right? Don't
think
find
it's
somebody else to replace you.
With marriage, this is the rule of thumb. You can start putting the pressure on when your youngest kid goes off to college. Then you can start.
So what they're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, because I know y'all been lost a little bit. So the Celtics coach, you know what I mean? Everybody's over here like, you're crazy. How do you cheat on Nia Long with a quote unquote consensual relationship with somebody in the office? Now, if you don't know, the coach was suspended for a year
Spend the whole
over
season.
this consensual relationship. Now, I know you heard the air quotes, consensual relationship. Because if it was consensual, I don't think somebody would get a year suspension for it. Maybe you still get in trouble, but not a year.
Just in comparison, look at Deshaun Watson got 11 games and I think it was like 20 some odd women came forward, right?
Yeah, like
He went through 63 massage therapists in 3 years, and he got 11 games.
his
Something
way
else is
worse.
up with this getting a
Oh
whole
yeah.
year.
Udoka, whatever he did, they're not gonna give you a year for something that's
that
it's not as consensual as I think has been initially reported.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of harassment going on.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's a mixture of both. And that's something that I think society has a difficult thing accepting sometimes, is that you can have an initial consensual relationship, but especially in the workplace, sometimes when you have a consensual relationship that is agreed on both sides, the aftermath can sometimes lead to unconsensual things. And that's what is starting to give off, that there might have been some initial consensual things, but because of workplaces and abuse of power and, you having to be around this person or whatever, that's when it can kind of move into like inappropriate things, especially if he didn't want to let go maybe of whatever was originally consensual, and maybe she might have possibly had guilt about or whatever. And then there could have been some sort of, like I said, an abuse of power, an abuse of we're in the same place, so I'm going to make sure I talk to you or make sure I'm around you still, or, that's when it can still lead into harassment, even if the initial thing was, consensual. So that's what it's giving to me.
So what I got for an example for me is, for me to understand this in my head, the show P Valley, where the coach and his wife, and then they had the exotic dancer. Now, this is how I feel like that is right there. Like they both knew about this person, but I guess in the whole P Valley, his wife started getting on with the exotic dancer, and they started doing things. So he was mad about that because he wasn't invited. So he started giving her money. Now that's just on the show, but as of in whole personal life, again, I feel like that be happening up in that arena of like you can give a person $10,000. Hey, come over here and have fun with me and my wife. You know what I mean? And blase. That's why I feel like it says consensual.
What is that? Oh, there we go.
Well, we have to come back to that because right there, that is everybody knows that is bear time. Yes, bear time. We have a special guest. Noah Banks. I feel like this man right here was rapping his tail off. Let me hear you. I'm to let you know. Yes, I said it. It was nice. It was great. But we'll come back after this. Welcome to Bear Time. Hailing from Louisiana, the Cajun Persuasion. He's about to have you riding on the sound wave and hopping on his fan page. Let's give it up for Noah Banks.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Bitch, I'm on the go, I've been focused. Took a pic with a thick bitch, about to post this. Had to ask for directions where the show is. Shit, I'm blowing up and I ain't even get the notice. But I'm finally getting noticed. Feel so good, remember mama feeling hopeless. Thought I only son with independent streets homeless. Knew I had something, I just really had to hone in. Going in, never not raw, fuck a Trojan. Take a bath in the spotlight, soaking in. Looking back at my past life, who are you again? I'm only 23, but I'm an old man. They say get a real job, said no chance. Never been a fan of the program. Pissing on a more Kelly might slow dance. Pause. Yeah, they bumping my shit while she grinding my dick. That's a minor event. I got bigger fish frying. We watched the notebook and she signed like, why you don't love me like this? Cause baby girl, I am the shit. Got a flush in my hand that I ain't about to risk for a trifling ass bitch that I met in the club. Went from joker to king cause I constantly hit. Bitch, I just showed up for the network. I ain't signing shit, gotta show me the check first. All of y'all cap make my head burst. 4 or 5 years, ask me about my net worth. Fake friends getting their exposure. Had to hit it raw when she said she loves Sosa. Might get married in the coaster before I get buried, put my face on a poster. Started living the life I'm supposed to. Most of my people still stuck in the backwoods. Show up to the fucking Grammys with a chauffeur. Got too much soul, y'all running with a flat foot. Bitch, don't give me that look. Made a classic on a 2010 MacBook. Never get sacked in the back, I ain't that shook. Reggie in a blunt, that's the way I make crack look. I just showed up for the network. And I ain't signing shit, gotta show me the check first. All of y'all cap make my head burst. 4 or 5 years, ask me about my net worth. Stay up, never go to bed first. Full load of spraying, ain't ready for my next verse. I think I've been blessed with the best curse. Fuck the whole world, make a goddamn chest hurt. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That is a rap. That is a rap. He just came up here and blew the mic up. I thought he was about to throw it because it was on fire. But that is a rap. Yeah. Yo, I swear to you, that mic was on fire when he was done with it.
Bars.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
he's
bro.
awesome. My man.
Bars.
He got something like this that song right there. Y'all can check it out on YouTube and Spotify. He says he has it on everything. But he could not be here because he's doing that rapper thing and traveling and rapping for people.
Yeah, for sure.
He's
He got
actually
the boy band face, but the bars are super heavy.
super heavy.
Yeah, he had a great rhythm altogether.
Yeah,
If
you could tell he felt what he was saying. You
Yeah,
could tell he felt what he was saying.
it was really dope. It was really dope. So I'm gonna get back to the conversation because we was getting into some meat and potatoes right here.
For sure.
We was getting the meat and potatoes. So as this is a reminder of what we was talking about the Celtic coach and consensual relationships and question mark cheating on Nia Long ? Question mark. Because, you know, Nia Long's been in a lot of rap. People always want to get Nia Long.
Nia Long, yeah. She's
Like,
very, very
her and
happy.
Angela Bassett, I feel like they have the fountain of youth somewhere or some creams that are keeping them looking young because... But that's just my opinion.
No, Nia Long is synonymous with looking good. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen what the other woman looks like? I haven't seen that.
So we don't know who it is.
They've released, because there have been a few blogs that have released like pictures of the possible, because they said one was maybe like a wife of somebody else that was affiliated on the team, and then another one they were saying was like the daughter of some, I don't know,
the owner's wife or something.
Something like that. And you know, from the pictures I saw, I'm like, the only thing is just like an age thing, you know, which goes, you know, with the whole.
Do you feel like he cheated up though?
No, I think it's
impossible.
It's giving.
If it's Nia Long, you can't.
It's like, yeah, it's very like who, like, yeah, it's giving cheated down. The only thing.
If it's the daughter of the owner and you buy into the team and now
that's gonna get you.
The only thing it's just the age to me. That was the only thing, is these women look like they could be younger than Nia Long.
Oh yeah.
But you know, as far as just overall looks, like, no.
Oh, okay.
But like, again, the cheating part of it, he shouldn't be cheating, but
definitely not on Nia Long though.
Nia Long is gorgeous, but looks
could be deceiving.
Not even that they're deceiving, but after you've been with somebody for so long, however they look, however good they look, is not.
That doesn't matter no more.
Yeah, this not. It don't mean anything. But my whole thing is, why are you harassing people at work? Like, sometimes people forget they're at work. Like, bro, we at work. You gotta create a professional environment. You can't, as they say, and this is just, you can't poop where you eat.
Yeah.
You know, that's got to be where a lot of people meet, like their significant others or their partners or whatever, you know, because that's where you spend all your time.
Most of your time.
You spend all your time at work, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, you're spending more time over there with somebody else than you are with your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's kind of crazy you say that, because I know for a fact that I'm in the open mic circuit and I'll be seeing the same people over and over again. And I just want to throw it out there. We do not have a lot of gorgeous women around.
I disagree.
Like, not for me to cheat on mine for. Nah. I'm sorry.
That is not my opinion. I would like to distance myself.
I think there's a lot of beautiful women comedians.
100%.
It's more men than women though.
It's the men that were
Beautiful man.
It's definitely a male-dominated industry, and
I
you
think it's more
definitely.
good-looking women. I think it's more good-looking female comedians than good-looking male comedians.
Well, I wasn't looking at the men, but I'm just saying, like, it's not a lot of female comedians here in this arena of Atlanta like that. Like, there's more men.
There's not a lot of females.
It's definitely a male-dominated industry, and I definitely can feel it as a
it's way more women than men in this than women is.
You can definitely always
the
feel
women
that.
in there, they
Some
look
of
good to
them,
me.
I'm not going to put that publicly. Some of them are. Some of them are. Some of them
Yeah.
are.
They look good
But
to me.
But just period, I feel like you're more likely. I mean, that is true. I mean, because even with me, like, not necessarily on the comedy scene, even though, I mean, when I first got to the scene, being around so many men, which I'm not used to, I was kind of like, okay, well, what's up with this one then, But, I've never had that thing where that stops me just because, like, I work with somebody because, I mean, it is what it is. And I'm not somebody that's just always out here meeting people. I'm very career focused. So even my boyfriend, like, we met working together. He's not a comedian, but I do catering on the side. We met working for the same catering company. And that's, how I've met a lot of my boyfriends, or on Uber. But it's just like literally like who if they're my Uber driver, or, I met them at some gig, So I think that is very natural, but I think it's also very easy to abuse. And I do think, to go back to what you were saying, Bear, as far as like the thing with P Valley, it was reported that she had no idea about this scandal or anything until it came out, and that she's more upset that she was not even like warned that like this was even going to be like a thing. She found out on social media about all of this, so that it doesn't really give that there was like a pre-knowing thing that she was aware of. Not to say that there still could have been a thing where, I don't know, I guess, there's always that thing of like, oh, maybe somebody's paying somebody and then it stopped coming, but I don't know. I just still feel like even with that, for him to get that punishment, I just feel like there has to be some level of like evidence. And I do feel like it's very easy too for people to not be aware of when they are harassing somebody. Because it's not saying, oh, he sexually harassed somebody. I didn't hear. I just saw like, harassment. And so harassment could be me calling you and being like, oh, this is a work meeting, but really I'm trying to ask you out for another date or something. Doesn't have to be like I touched you inappropriately or did it. It's just like harassing the power or harassing the fact that we work together to like be around me.
He was suspended whatever for half the season for just being overly annoying.
Very bad. Like, I think it went beyond. Like I said, I don't think he got suspended for a year for cheating on your wife. Yeah. I think he got suspended for a year for
something else.
Because the Suns owner he got forced to sell his team, or he's being forced to sell his team because he had a whole bunch of workplace harassment stuff that got out in the media. And I think the Boston owner is like, bro, I don't care how good you can coach. You're not about to cost me my team because you don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the commissioner came down and they kind of forced him. They forced him out essentially.
And Boston is like, we don't want no part of that. Like, we don't want to. So, I mean, I get it. Like, if I just don't think it's because he went to the finals. I mean, he's a great coach.
He went to the finals, but they lost in the finals too last year.
They lost in the finals, but he's a great
lost his
coach.
Wife now too. So that's 2 rings in 2 years.
That's 2 rings in 2 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just keep taking L's, bro.
I'm telling you, man, that's not a winning resume.
No, that is not a winning resume.
That's just not a good look. But yeah, I do think it's also sparked this whole other controversy where a lot of women are feeling like if somebody as popular as Nia Long could get cheated on, like then of course it's gonna happen to me, which I think is interesting because I've never had that perspective. People had kind of a similar thing when Halle Berry got cheated on, but like I said, I guess I've never been cheated on or that's never been my main issue with the opposite sex, so I don't really relate to that issue, but that's also an interesting conversation.
Looks matter.
A Fresh Prince, right? That's what we were talking about before this whole thing started.
And she was on Friday.
And on Friday, right?
She know how to
Fresh
pick them,
Prince.
man.
Yeah.
I really am curious about how Will Smith is handling all this.
Yeah,
that's really the one thing I want to find out. If he's just like on his way to like Boston right now to go slap him.
Let me ask y'all something. Celebrity crushes, like who is y'all's? Like, I want to ask, like, because mine, y'all would never guess. Mine's is Megan Good.
Oh,
yeah,
that's not
beautiful.
Popular at all.
But I knew her. I knew her when she had braces in her mouth.
On Cousin Skeeter.
On Cousin Skeeter.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
And on Friday. Yeah. She was the little girl at the ice cream truck. You remember?
Yeah, no, I remember when she was doing her thing.
Like, his eyes light up when he's telling you about it.
That's my celebrity crush since 8.
My original and probably the one I always liked was Kelly Bundy.
Kelly Bundy was, I can see that. I totally can see why you had that.
It's totally imprinted on the women I like to pick up too.
But still, if you're influencing my man to this day.
Oh.
Me, I guess I've never had a main one. At every age and time, there's like a different one. Like I feel like every young black girl had like this huge crush on Little Bow Wow, and then it transitioned into Chris Brown, and then like as an adult, I feel like it kind of hops around. Like as an adult, I don't find those people attractive anymore. I'm like, ew, But as a grown person, I feel like I don't know. I had this like big kind of attraction to just I think Lucky Day, I kind of was one of the Lucky Day, Frank Ocean. Okay. I don't know, like if I like the music you make and like just your aura or your energy, and even with Division, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I like between the music and just the energy. I'm like, those are some good looking guys, but yeah.
Unfortunately, Christina Applegate aged well. She's kind of like
for sure.
And there's like my OG crush on Usher. Like I feel like I've always looked at him as like,
Usher.
Because as a little girl, thought he was fine.
Okay, what about you?
I had 3 as a kid. We talking about kid. All right. So the Power Rangers originally, for real, originally the Yellow Ranger was Asian.
Right.
But like right after that, they swapped out for a black girl. The Yellow Power Ranger was black. Her name was Aisha on the show. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Whoever that is. To me, my 8-year-old brain or 10-year-old brain was like, this girl is tough.
Okay.
The black girl from Boy Meets World, Sean's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I was
Angela.
like,
Angela.
man, Angela was tough. And then I think rest in peace. But the girl who loves Steve Urkel.
Oh, Myra.
Myra.
Yeah. I met her. I met her
Yeah,
mom in
I
New
remember
York.
Yeah.
Her mom's an actress in New York, and she would post about her a lot. She actually dated Malcolm Jamal Warner for a long time.
He got him
too.
one. Oh, and
Yeah.
Pam
Woo.
from Martin. Pam
Okay.
was all that for me.
Okay.
You have
Yeah,
a long
as you can
list
see,
there,
as you
buddy.
can see,
Bro,
ladies
I
and
was
gentlemen,
on, bro. I was
all
on
our
when
crushes
I was
really
youngin',
came
bro.
from TV because we were the TV babies.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't really
TV
never had like
days.
Nia Long and all of them. Not to say Nia Long wasn't gorgeous, but I didn't see them all the time to
Yeah.
be like. I ain't never have no movie crushes like that.
Yeah. But y'all said multiples. All right. So my second one, believe it or not, is Nicki Minaj.
What?
Yeah.
You too old for Nicki Minaj.
Nah,
That's
I said
childhood.
we said levels back in the day.
No, she's
Like,
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
Nicki
is.
Minaj is. I like the Caribbean look.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
is.
I do like that. I guess as he says, that kind of like picks who you really like.
Yeah.
Like who you go for out here when you try
But
to date
how
and
old?
stuff.
But Nicki we grown when Nicki came out though.
Nah, I was like 20, like 22, 25.
That's
something.
grown.
She made him feel young.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and then I'll say as far as like the music, like I'll say who I always see right now looking good, Omarion and his brother. Now those two, and I feel like they know what they're doing every time they take pictures together, do videos together. Very nice looking men. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to that point in time where we're going to be closing out. So, again, thank you everybody for coming. Like, this is great. This was great. This is new. This is very tasteful. I thoroughly enjoyed this. And Murray, do you have anything in closing you want to say?
No, I had a great time. Thank you for having me. Like I said before, I have a show I host every Friday at Savvy Provisions at Lenox. I'd love to see you guys there this Friday coming up, and anybody else that can make it out there in the real world or virtual world. But yeah, that'd be fantastic. As we talked about before, just get online and check out the stuff that's going on in Iran and try to find some support to support their rights and things like that.
Because what he's saying is if we could support, what's the country in Iraqistan? No, Ukraine. There we go. There we go. If we could support Ukraine, we can support Iran. This is what he is saying.
Did you say Iraqistan?
Iraqistan. Mixing up. Region, my man.
It was.
You're starting a whole new world dilemma with just the name of that
I'm
country.
like,
Hold on, but you know what I meant. Anywho. And madam?
I mean, I'm out here, so just like follow me at actress Sheree Danielle on Instagram. I'm performing, I'm creating, I'm auditioning, so you never know what I'm gonna be in next. And I don't have any. I think. Oh yeah, I will be a part of the Backhand Comedy Festival in Woodstock in Georgia coming up the second weekend in October. So
Dope.
check me out in that, and yeah. Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Good,
Thanks,
good,
everybody.
Let's throw my handle out there too. Yeah, sorry about that.
All
You
good.
guys follow me at Murray Saidi as well. I'd love to see you guys there.
Yeah, most definitely. You have anything coming up? Yeah.
We got Control Trauma on Sunday. Shout out to them.
Yeah, I'm a part of that as well.
You gonna be on that tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Yeah.
I always love when you're on the show.
Yeah.
And other than that,
That's it?
I think so.
Well, everybody, thank you for coming out. Thank you for listening. And always, that you need to subscribe. And, peace and chicken grease.
I got something for you. Yeah. Brown liquor, brown filter, yeah, that's where we are. Surrounded by sounds of the crowd, that's where we gone. I said that's where we gone. Look, I ain't been sleeping, I've been dreaming. Go and get you a taste of lyrical cement. What you witnessing is a miracle, breathe in. Tryna be a white legend like I'm Bocephus. Better have more than spiritual defense. This the atomic shell, the moment before it descends.